Hi, metal fans. This is Bryce Van Patten of Metal Express Radio, and today my guest is the one and only Michael Schenker of MSG, Michael Schenker Fest, Macaulay Schenker Group, UFO, and the Scorpions. Michael will be releasing his MSG album Immortal January 29th via Nuclear Blast, and good afternoon, Michael.
Good afternoon, and also Michael Schenker's Temple of Rock.
Oh, Michael Schenker's Temple of Rock. Thank you very much. I understand that the new record celebrates your 50th year as a musician. Can you tell us about how the idea for the album came about?
I originally I realized in 2019 that the 50th anniversary was coming up, which was, when I was putting the first note on a recording ever at age 15, and with my first musical composition, In Search of the Peace of Mind, which I actually wrote all by myself in my mother's kitchen, and the Scorpions credited themselves for it. Naughty guys. That's like being 15 and them being 21 and knowing that there's a talent doing all the work for them. But anyway, I wanted to celebrate that with musicians, fans, and friends from all over the world, and he was dragging on, and then I realized I missed the timing. It's very hard to put music of fans and friends together from all over the world, and so my agent said to me, "Yeah, but Michael, the album came out in '72." So I said, so I've got 2 years to do this. So I had hope again.
Excellent.
But this time I wanted to put a compact band together, and so I had Bodo Shop on board, the excellent drummer, Ronnie Romero, who agreed to sing all the songs, and Steve Mann, keyboard. Barry Sparks kept emailing me, "Mike, I want to be your bass player." I said, "You got it." So I had a band together, and then I actually started writing, and when it was time to leave, there was the virus, so all the borders were blocked, and I had to go a different direction. And it's a long journey with 42 days of quarantine, not in one go, but 14, going back and forth to Germany to the recording studio at Michael Foster's, my co-producer. And so I put down my musical compositions, and then it was time for Ronnie to sing. And then Ronnie went, "Oh, sorry, I can't come. I'm locked up." He's living in Bulgaria. I can't go on 14 days quarantine. Said, "Okay, don't worry about it. We call you back." And then Amy, my partner, she's a bass player, has a very good taste, and she's a music consumer, and I haven't been listening to music for 50 years, so I don't know what's out there. I said to her, Ronnie is stuck. Well, what can we do? He said, "Ask Ralph Scheepers." And so I said to Michael Foss, "Ralph Scheepers." He said, absolutely. The next day they were recording.
Amazing.
I couldn't believe it. And recorded another song. And then on top of that, Michael Foss got a phone call from Brian Tichy, one of the best drummers in the world, playing with Whitesnake and Ozzy and so on. And he's a Michael Schenker fan, and he said he heard about the 50th anniversary. He wants to make a contribution and offers 6 drum tracks. I went, what? What's going on here? And then he called back again, Michael Foss said, a buddy of mine, Derek Sheranian, he's a keyboard player. He's also a fan. He wants to make a contribution. And I said to Michael Foss, "Well, what are you going to do with a heavy-duty keyboard player? As far as I know, he's been with Dream Theater. I never heard him, but he must be one of the top 10 keyboard players. What are we going to do? We already got Steve Mann doing the coloring. I wanted to put all the guitars down myself to make it as much Michael Schenker as possible. And so here we go. Michael, what shall I do?" He said, "Why don't you do a keyboard guitar jam?" I said, "Keyboard guitar jam? I've never done that before." "Well, maybe it's good to do it for the first time. It would be something fresh for the 50th anniversary." I said, "Actually, you're right. Let's do it." And when I heard the outcome of Ralph and Tichy and Derek, which became Drill to Kill, I was blown away. I mean, what is going on here? I mean, the virus. I mean, the original idea of doing what I ended up doing didn't happen. And then the compact band got completely directed by the virus. And all of a sudden, I'm ending up where I started. But this time, I didn't have to do anything. The phone calls were coming in. We called Ronnie again. Are you ready for a song? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I can't go on a 14 days quarantine. I can't afford. I have obligations. Don't worry, we call you back. And so I said to Michael Voss, what shall we do now? He said, what do you think of Julian Turner? I said, Julian Turner, one of my favorite singers. He's a fan. I'm a fan. Do you have a contact to him? Yes. The next day they were recording and another song. So that was 4 songs less for Ronnie Romero. And one morning I came back from the hotel and I said, Michael Voss, and I one of the compositions was a power ballad. I've never done a power ballad like that before, and it just popped out of nowhere. And Michael Voss, he always writes a B plan for vocalists in case they get stuck. And he said, Michael, this is what I did last night to your power ballad. And I said to Michael Voss, only you can sing this. This is incredible, And then there was another song called "The Queen of Thorns and Roses," which was an unusual song, and he was singing to it so perfectly. I said, you get these 2 songs. So that was 6 songs less for Ronnie Romero. And then eventually he was available, and of course he did a great job, a fantastic job, in fact. And he did the Night of the Dead, and he did the Sail, the Darkness, and Come On Over, and In Search of Peace of Mind, of course. And then there is a bonus track that we might be using, and nobody has heard yet, that also Ronnie is singing, Titch is playing drums, which will be released as a bonus for single or for a touring promotion or something like that. And and then there was In Search of the Peace of Mind, the most important song for a celebration song, because it was a song when I put the first note on ever on a recording as a 15-year-old, and my very first written composition, which was quite complex. Even Rudolph can't play it because it involves double picking, and the original Michael Voss sent me the original credits for that Lonesome Crow Scorpions album, and it said lyrics by Michael Schenker, Rudolph Schenker. Rudolph and Michael had zero knowledge of English. How could we have written any lyrics? Complete misinformation. And so I should have said Michael Schenker music and whoever did the lyrics. Then there was the title, In Search of the Peace of Mind, which became the theme of my life. Looking for contentment, fulfillment, and peace, etc., etc. And that's what I did in my middle years, and so it just went on and on. That song, and then there was a lead break on it, which I would never change a note in 1,000 years. It was so perfect as a 15-year-old for the first recording. You can hear on the rest of the Lonesome Crow Scorpions album that Michael is developing as a 15-year-old amateur, and making his development, but this solo was so perfect. Even today, I cannot see anything wrong with it. Where did it come from? Unbelievable, And so, anyways, ironically, this whole song became really the most important celebration song of the 50th anniversary, and so. But then we had Simon Phillips popping up, and unbelievable drums.
Yeah,
to that song.
I was just going to ask you about Simon. So.
And absolutely fantastic, and And then I wanted to make that song an epic in Search of the Peace of Mind, to make it special, and I put guitars on it, a howler and the wah-wah pedal and deep bending notes and all sorts of emotions, you know. And when I listen back to it, it sounds like an inner conversation, you know, that we all have. We all have inner conversation. Shall I go this way, that way, making choices, etc. And it actually describes my 50 years journey on lead guitar, with all of these emotions, with questions and answers, you know, within myself. I mean, unbelievable. And then we asked Gary Barden if he would do a contribution, you know, during the first verse. He has such a manly, warm, vibrato feeling, and I mean, manly voice. And he said, of course, Michael, I'll do this for you. And then Ronnie was singing the second verse when he gets to the higher point. And then I said to Michael Voss, why don't we ask Robbie McCauley and Dougie White and Graham Bonnet, you know, to do try, you know, just as a 50th anniversary contribution, you know, just like a little bit, you know, like a message. And absolutely we do that. And they did. And so in the end, that song became like, where did this come from? I mean, what I couldn't manage by myself in the beginning in 2019, then put a compact band together, and all of a sudden, everything happened by itself. It feels to me like a gift from heaven, you know, telling me, Michael, this is a present, you know, from heaven, that for sticking true to yourself for so many years and never sell out, and this is what we give you. And I tell you, I'm so blessed.
Yeah, well, you can tell that the music really comes from your soul. You know, you've always had a lot of emotion in your playing, and so I'm really looking forward to the new album. Can I ask really quick, a couple people at the station, and I'll make it fast. One person at the station wanted to know why the switch from Michael Schenker Fest, since in Fest you have everybody in Fest was in MSG at one point. So what decided you to go MSG instead of Fest?
Because everything started Michael Schenker Group, right from the beginning, you know, with Mo Foster and Simon Phillips, then with Cozy Powell, MSG with Cozy Powell. Actually, everything is called Michael Schenker Group. These are just subtitles, and it helps me to keep track because I have so many different lineups. And Michael Schenker's Temple of Rock, Macaulay Schenker Group. I gave Robin the M so I could keep the MSG. I didn't care about having the first M. And then the Michael Schenker's Temple of Rock, that indicates, that is with Helman Ravel, Francis Buchholz from the Scorpions, and Dougie White from Rainbow. Michael Schenker Fest is all the original 80s singers with the Michael Schenker Group or MSG singing to Michael's original compositions. And now we have the 50th anniversary of Michael Schenker performed by the current, you know, and I say current MSG Michael Schenker Group. And so it's just, you know, categorizes and helps the fan to understand what the hell, which Michael Schenker Group is this, you know? So it helps.
Yeah. So who will be?
And by the way,
yes,
Michael Schenker Fest is still available. You know, Michael Schenker Fest is still available if people can afford us, because it's so expensive, and the promoters, you know,
right.
they have to pay up because they come from all over the world.
Exactly.
And so it's just sitting there. It's waiting. Whenever anybody wants Michael Schenker Fest, they are ready to go.
So who's going to be touring for this album on your band?
Yeah. For this, so I kind of basically got back to the compact idea, which was in the middle before the virus came up. And so I asked Ronnie Romero, and he can sing like anybody. He's a perfect singer. And he is, and then we have Bodo Schopf on drums, you know, who's with the Michael Schenker Fest, and then Steve Mann on the keyboards, and with Barry Sparks, we have a little bit of a situation. I have ideas what I can do with it, but because he's from America, we don't know how the vaccine and how, the borders. I want to make things less complicated because we had to postpone so many tours already that, I just don't want to put too many borders in between. And so I told Barry Sparks, stay on hold, but we have to find a solution in the meantime. And since Michael Voss was singing those two songs, especially After the Rain, and he is a fantastic musician. I mean, he can play anything, and so we're having him standby as a bass player, and of course. Barry Sparks, he will eventually show up, in Japan. Right. Whenever it's easy for him to travel. I have to go. The phone is ringing.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to talk with us and for sharing what it means to you to be playing and creating music for 50 years. And I, for one, can't wait to get the new album, Michael.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.